And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
I'll alert the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the show. We have a repeat customer today with Myron Elkins. We first saw Myron open for Shane Smith and the Saints, a couple of years ago now. And he blew us away. This kid is absolutely fantastic. He can play guitar, he can sing, he can write a hell of a song. Like, this kid is the real deal. And what I love about him is he's so young and fresh in everything. You know, he's had some success with tunes on Yellowstone. His first album was absolutely fantastic. We talk about new music coming out and all that. But I love the way he's doing it, and he's doing it the way he wants to. He just did a leg of the Outlaw Music Festival in Nelson. We'll talk about that. And we talk about a lot of things. Myron's a good dude, and he's genuine. I love the way he describes his music and his sound. I'll never forget the first time I saw him, and he was just absolutely freaking incredible. He kind of like blew it away. Like, you look at this kid, and then the sound that comes out, it didn't make sense. It was such a mature sound for such a, you know, and I don't mean, and no disrespect for, but such a baby-faced young man. You know, he's just absolutely incredible. So, Myron, thank you for being here. Thank you all for tuning in and taking a listen today or a watch or whatever you're doing. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. What did we do this weekend? We saw Creed Fisher at Patty's Beach Club down in Westerly, Rhode Island. Mickey Lamaya opened that show. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to say some things about the shows we saw at the end of this. So I'll save that for that. We also saw Next Day Flatland Calvary at Indian Ranch, and we did another show that we didn't cover. I don't even want to talk about it. So yeah. And then this weekend coming, by hook or by crook, I don't care what anybody has to say about it. Right? It was my guilty pleasure. I'm going to do Luke Bryan on Friday. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care. It's going to happen. We're doing it. I don't care. Yep. Sure. And then next week we got a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to tell you right now, next week is going to be a Cody, Jinx, Shane Smith and the Saints, Tanner Osray heavy week. For songs, for lyrics, for, you know, all that stuff. Also, I think come towards the end of this week, we're going to put out a bunch of episodes. I think. Of course, I need to get this shit out. So yeah. So if you have an episode that you're waiting on, it's coming. Promise. But until then, guys, enjoy the episode here at Myron. We'll talk about all the shows on the flip side. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, no, we've been to Iowa quite a bit, but that was about as far as we've ever been.
Nice.
We played there quite a bit, actually. We had some people come out that have came out before, so it was nice.
Was it a weekend run, or did you just...
Yeah.
Was it a one-off?
Yeah, it was just a weekend run. We played in Illinois on the 4th, and then we played the 5th out there with a band, Lowdown Drifters. I've never heard of them. They're like a Texas group, I guess.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, the Drifters are awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is your run with Willie all done now?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we, I forget, that was like a week or two ago. I forget.
Yeah. How was that?
Killer.
Yeah.
It was super great. We had like a hometown show over in Detroit, so that was cool. I had all my family come out. And
Nice.
yeah, I mean Willie Nelson, he still puts on a show, which is
Yeah.
wild. I mean, it is. It seems it's almost like a magic trick at this point.
Yeah. You know, we've seen him the last few years. Last year, when the Outlaw Fest came through Boston, he had been sick, so he didn't play, and Lucas had stepped in for him.
Okay.
Uh, but even like the 2 years prior to that, like it was like every year he sounded better and better.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's I don't know. It's he's not one of us. You know what I
No,
mean?
no.
It's a
He's
completely different thing. I don't
right.
know. I think all those guys were,
Yeah,
but I think Willie took a little bit better care of himself, and plus, it's probably a gene thing as well. But
yeah, yeah. Now, how do you get on something like that?
as far as I know, the last time I had a lot of stuff going for me, so the cop connection and all that, and promoter put me on the Midwest run, and it went well. I guess promoter liked it. Everybody liked it. So this time around, the promoter was just kind of, you want to do it again kind of situation.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Now, so what did you do that last year or the year before?
that was 2023, so 2 years ago.
Nice, nice,
Yep, brought my grandma out with me. John Fogerty was on that one too. That was really
nice.
cool, and he
I've
was
never,
like,
I've never seen him.
he's amazing, super down to earth, and man, he was just he might have like started arena rock a little bit because every song from the age of probably like 13 to 75, everybody looked at each other and was like, "Oh, love this."
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
grew up on it. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
It's like that's rock radio. That's every movie. Every
right. And
commercial.
I mean, it really
It's
is.
it's like an American Beatles
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. Like you can't put on one of those songs and not know every lyric from start to finish.
Yeah, yeah, and it's he's such a fantastic guitar player
Yeah,
um and singer, but you don't even realize because the songs are better than both of them, which
right.
is hard to say because like his voice is wild. I
Yeah,
mean, especially back in his prime, it's one of the craziest voices. I mean, in rock, and
yeah,
his guitar riffs are great, but the song still outshines everything.
yeah,
It's like he's a better songwriter than all that, which is yeah. I mean, it's wild. I'm a huge
yeah.
Fogerty fan.
Now, speaking of sound and the way people sing, because it's like you have a very distinct singing voice compared to like your conversational voice, right? So,
Yeah,
like, where
yep.
where does that come from? How did you discover that?
Well, at first I started with country music,
Yeah,
really in depth, with Papa and just trying to mimic Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings, and really the outlaw movement was the big thing for my grandpa and me. But I never really could hit it. I was always like, man, I'm from Michigan for one. I'm also at that time I was 13 years old, so it's kind of hard to do all that, and I ended up just kept falling into where I could go, which was just being myself, and then soul music came around when I got my driver's license. Started listening to oldie station, so a lot of classic rock, a lot of soul, just classic Americana, really, just American music. And I just always fell flat trying to mimic people, and eventually I just kind of quit doing that, and I found a happy medium between me and everybody I love. And one thing Tom Petty said that I think is really true is doesn't really matter if somebody can, you know, if it's 100% you or if it's 100% somebody else. It's just if it's believable.
right,
If you make a song sound believable, that's the whole point. And I always thought Tom, was trying to do a British accent kind of thing, and he's from Florida.
right.
But he loved all the British rock stuff and the American rock stuff, like the Byrds and all that. So, yeah, I think all of us are just we try to shoot somewhere and fall somewhere else, and for some of us, maybe it falls a little to yourself, and some of us it's to somebody else. And I think for me, it's just that's where it comes from. It's
Yeah,
just where everybody else comes from, just trying to be believable.
yeah. Now, how did you learn to play guitar as well as you do?
Well, I'm honestly, man, I've struggled with guitar a lot of my life, but for the first probably 10 years of just playing and singing, I was just trying to. I didn't even think about it. It was just that's the tool to be able to get a story across.
Right.
When I started playing in a rock and roll band, uh, I started listening to a lot of, Leonard Skinner and all that, and then just you rip off everything. One of the
Right.
biggest guys that really helped was Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. Like, if you want to learn how to play really great blues and rock and roll, there's a guy. Fogerty, as we were talking about Fogerty, he's another guy who's just very simple, good tone, and just kind of, again, it's really weird. There's accents in guitars. Like if you hear somebody, most of the time I can tell who's playing. Like Steve Cropper, for example, from Stax and played on all kind of records. I can hear that double stop anywhere and be like, "There's Steve Cropper," or Robbie Robertson from the band. He's got a
Yeah.
really frantic kind of thing. So you just pick up things, and eventually you become a melting pot, and eventually you become yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still figuring it out, and honestly, I'm not really ever really focused on becoming a really good guitar player, which is kind of weird to say. It's a lot of fun. It's just it's for me, it's always just been trying to get a song across.
Right.
And obviously, if you want to hear guitar music, Leonard Skinner is
Yeah.
where,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, god dang, those
Yeah.
guys. I mean, the phrasing, it's always interesting for
Yeah.
them, with them.
Now, when you're writing songs, are you thinking about do you think about melodies at all while you're writing lyrics out, or do you just kind of like put the words down on paper and try to figure it out from there?
Yeah, it's always different. Sometimes it does start with the guitar part, honestly, but a lot of the times I keep a whole list of things. I'll talk to people and they'll say a phrase and I'll write that down, or I'll see a billboard and that'll have something on it that kind of reminds me or kind of hits me in a way where I'm like that could become something. And the hardest part for me with writing a song is knowing where you want to end up eventually. That can be kind of tricky. That's why it's kind of fun to write hokey blues songs sometimes, or just
Right.
things that don't have to go anywhere. But for me, right from the get go, I was a big country music fan, and they always go somewhere. And most of the time, they go somewhere really dark.
Yeah.
Um, so it's that was the most interesting thing to me. And that's every time I write a song, you just gotta. For me, you're trying to make a little small movie. That's how I kind
Yeah.
of feel about it. And you got about 3.5 minutes to get everything across. So that's it. Yeah, it can be a very frustrating thing, but sometimes it's very gratifying, especially if just everything kind of works out. The fast ones. Everybody talks about the fast ones, and
Right.
those are the best ones. It's very odd. It's very
Yeah.
weird. It's almost paranormal or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Like, do you like when you write songs that do come out faster than others? Do you like? Does it like kind of hit you like, oh, maybe this could be the one when
Yeah, yeah.
maybe something else is
Yep, you're always when that happens, you're always convinced. Like, I guess I'm just gonna drive right to the bank because
right, 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 right.
and then you let it sit, and sometimes you won't never play the thing again. You'll just be like, oh man, that was yeah. You're always the biggest fan of your newest stuff, I guess.
Right, right, right.
Um, that was cool about the last record we did. It was kind of a little bit like that. I brought all my new shiny toys in, and we were able to cut it, and the song became the song, um, kind of on the spot. We also did a lot of pre-production, but yeah, every song was like kind of my new shiny thing, and I still like them. They're sticking around, so that's good.
Yeah. Now, for you as like an artist, right? When you do put out new music, you talked about how like the new stuff you really like the new stuff. Do you ever get like I don't want to say sick of, but like the older stuff kind of like loses that
Hmm.
shine for you, or do you
Yeah,
still have it?
yeah. It's also like an era thing. I don't want to sound like Taylor Swift or nothing, but Um, that you know, like let's say the Factories, Farms, and Amphetamines. I still love a lot of stuff on there and things, but that was a different me almost. It
Yeah.
feels like, you know, everything was different. Like really just everything. So when you play them, it does feel kind of like you're playing somebody else's songs.
Really?
Um, it's hard to get in that headspace again, but you know, songs like Hands Myself and Nashville Money and Old Trauma, those ones feel kind of timeless. They still, I can find myself in those a lot still.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what it kind of feels like at a certain point, especially my old songs I wrote back when I was in high school, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've been writing forever. It feels like, you know, elementary school, honestly. Uh, and I've been doing the music thing since I was 17. So now I'm 25. I start playing songs, you know, like PTSD or Leslie. I wrote PTSD when I was like 18, you know, and that stuff. So it's weird. It's weird. It's like you're covering somebody almost.
Yeah. Now, do you get it? You know, with some of the success you've had, you know, through Yellowstone and all that stuff. Like, do you see some of those songs and like feel almost like a kinship or like a thank? You have to like thank those songs for where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. The biggest one really for me was PTSD. That was the first time I ever wrote a song where I was where people enjoyed it and requested it at shows, and I felt kind of validated. I was like, "Oh man, I wrote one. Like I finally
Right.
wrote one."
Yeah.
And then other than that, I always feel like I owe Hands to Myself something as well. That's I think, you know, when we signed and they heard that song, they believed in it. So yeah, it's kind of like your that's your trophy. You got that, you know.
Right.
So yeah, and I also get nervous performing those songs, which is really weird because I always feel like I have to perform them the best, and if I don't perform them good, I didn't do it justice, you know.
Right. Right. Now, you know, when you do get do you get a call that says, "Hey, we're gonna put this song on TV," or do you like how does that work?
Well, most of the time it's the manager guy will kind of get it first, and then he'll shoot me a text, and it's like, oh, great, and that's kind of all there is to it.
Yeah.
I think the music we make and a lot of stuff I listen to is movie music anyway, which is
Yeah.
odd to say. I'm not even sure how to describe it, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not really. It's movie music. I think a lot of that early or late '60s, early '70s stuff is movie music.
Yeah.
So it didn't shock me, you know.
But do you have to like pitch it to somebody, or like does your management have to pitch it to somebody, or is it just
I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I
right?
know that sounds kind of I don't know, maybe ignorant, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it worked. Whatever
Yeah,
happened, it worked. You know.
yeah,
Now, you know when things like that happen, right? And you know, the first time, the time we saw you, you were up here with Shane Smith and the Saints, and you know, doing all that. Now, does that open? You know, when things like that happen, and you get that kind of like notoriety on a big show like that, like does it I don't want to say automatically, but does it automatically open other doors?
yeah, yeah. It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's who you don't know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, 100%. It's a weird. It's a like the music thing's very odd.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of political, not, you know, not political as far as like
Yeah.
American politics, but it's politics really.
Yeah.
And I found that out in Nashville, and thankfully I learned it pretty young. You know, I was 19 when they signed me, and I started talking to all these people, and now I feel like I've just made my first round in the music world, and learned a lot. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So, but at the end of the day, honestly, dude, it all comes back to and I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's as simple as hearing a Creedence song on the radio. That's why I do it, you know.
Yeah,
So when you meet people like that, it's just kind of, it's helpful. But if you're just doing it to end up on a TV show or something like that,
yeah.
I think I think you probably have to reevaluate.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now what when you are in situations where you're on a festival or opening for somebody or whatever and like, your personal heroes are there. Like is it regardless of the professionalism and all that, like do you have that like, kind of like that fanboy like holy shit, I can't believe this is where I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, I'm still just a fan.
Yeah.
I think I always will be. I came into music with that mentality, and it's really only grown. Um, and I can be a fan of like a John Fogerty or a fan of somebody new, like my buddy Eddie Ninevolt. I'm a huge fan of him. Um, or I like Coulter Wall too. I think
Yeah.
he's a great artist, and he does it for the right reasons. So yeah, it's intimidating. It still is. I have no problem being a fan. And yeah, I think if you aren't, it's a little odd.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Because you hear it all the time, right? Where you see, you know, big name artists, and they're like, "Well, I got to meet so and so, and I was just so out of my
Oh
mind about it."
yeah, we just got to briefly meet Willie Nelson, and I couldn't talk. I mean,
No, I bet.
yeah, I really could. I think I just told him my name. That's pretty much all I could say. And dude, I'm a nerd about that stuff, and
Yeah.
I just know how much he means to music and how much he means to me personally. And yeah, I just don't do well with that. I
No.
don't. No, I really don't. Even working with Dave Cobb, I was a big fan of him, still am. Um, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
always gonna be weird, you know. It was kind of nice cutting this last record because I was a big fan of the keyboard player Rick Steff from Lucero, and he's played with so many people. I'm a huge fan of him. But when he wasn't there, it was just kind of everybody's just chilling out, everybody's buddies, and it was a little simpler, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I get asked all the time, when it's like when I talk to people or whatever, and or meet people out, people are like, do you ever get like that starstruck? And it's like, honestly, it's only been like twice, and I think it's a different kind of thing because like I take it in and do this from like a friend shooting the shit kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yep.
talking to you like I would talk to somebody I've known my entire life,
Yes, yeah.
so like I approach it a lot different. I can't imagine, you know, but like that's to say, like I don't think I could imagine meeting Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
in the same realm, you know what I mean? So it's a
Yeah.
different, yeah, you got, I love, everybody I talk to, I love their music, I look up to them and all that stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's like you're still my friend Myron that's in my cell phone that I text.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's there's no. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what
Mm-hmm.
I care, but like
Yep.
it doesn't, you know,
Yeah,
it, it doesn't put you on a pedestal. You know what I mean? You're just my
yep.
friend that does cool shit.
Yep. And I think what kind of can make it a little worse, like especially when we were working with Cobb, was he's about to watch you go in there and try to lay down a track. That's
Right,
kind of
right,
like,
right,
especially
right.
I was 20 and I was just freaking out. So it was like the whole time, I'm like, oh God, man.
Yeah.
You kind of got to prove yourself. It feels like, but no, yeah, I have no guilt or I don't feel bad for being a fan of anybody. I
No,
mean,
you can't. You can't.
yeah, that's just my mentality, and
Right. No,
um,
trust me. I've put myself in situations where I probably look like a complete moron, but
oh
you
yeah,
know,
100%, 100%. I
whatever.
mean, we all have,
Yeah.
still will. I
Yeah.
guarantee
Oh,
you. I'll meet
absolutely.
somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm pushing 40, and I'll still be a child in front of some people. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah. So now, with the new stuff you're putting out and the new stuff you're doing, like how, like sound wise, lyrically, I mean, obviously it matures, right? But like,
yeah.
how different do you see it from That first record to now.
Um, for me personally, it's kind of night and day because I know how a
Yeah.
record's made now. We kind of got a master class of learning how a record's made with Dave. After that, we spent. I feel a little bit more like we paid our dues for sure. I was coming
Yeah.
straight from the factory the last time, and now we spent the last 5 years really going crazy on the road. And when I'm home, just being kind of a mad scientist with a guitar, and um, you know, a lot of things have changed. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So this record kind of reflected that, I think, a lot. We weren't really shooting for anything in particular. I just got dropped by my label. I went through some kind of personal changes as well. Some people left, and um, some people came back. You know, my drummer and cousin Ricky, he saw kind of what was going on, and he was able to swing in. And he was on the first record. Me and him been, I mean, great friends. I mean, we're family, and we started the thing together. So we went straight to Memphis, where Rick hooked us up with a good deal. Rick Steff from Lucero, and uh, we started the project completely differently than the last one. You know, so it's yeah, obviously it's different, but we weren't really shooting for anything to try to sell it or anything.
Right.
You know, that I think it was Saving Country Music did a thing on us where it was like they're just cutting another, like everybody, it's a cool thing to go cut a soul record, and it is. I love soul music and a lot of people are doing it, but I just I don't know. I feel like it ain't just soul on there. It's kind
Right.
of some rock and roll, some country, some R&B, whatever. Um so yeah, it is maturing, but I think we're kind of falling into again where we always have been, where it's not quite country, it's not quite rock and roll, and then it's got like this hint of soul thing. And the best way I've heard it summed up is it's a genre called Heartland rock, which is it's just storytelling and then pulling from all classic American music.
Huh.
So
I like that. I like the way that sounds. Heartland rock.
yeah, it was a subgenre made in like the mid to late 70s. You know, Fogerty's in there, Seeger's in there, Petty's in there,
Yeah.
John Cougar, um, and it's very comfortable for me to be in that
Yeah.
realm because all
You
those
know
guys
that
love that stuff
that
too.
makes a lot of sense.
But I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Actually, I checked. I remember checking it was iTunes when Factories, Farms, and Amphetamines came out, and Elektra, without my knowledge or anything, just wrote the bio of the record, and it just said "Heartland Rock rides again." And I was like, what's that? And who wrote that? You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I was kind of hands off with that record deal. Honestly, I was just kind of, I was very young and. Um, I was just learning how things worked, really. And when I read that, I immediately Googled what the heck is Heartland Rock, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I guess that does feel like home for me. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's I've just released everything under rock and roll because yeah, I feel like rock and roll's really died in the last 25 years, honestly. But
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to put it under rock and roll. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people are going completely country, and Post Malone's I guess a country artist now, and a lot of people are just running to that genre, and it's really too bad for country artists. But uh, yeah, so I feel like that's my home, just Heartland rock, and I
Yeah.
have no problem being known as a rock and roller, um, especially when I can lean any way I want. I can lean
Right.
soul, I can lean country, I can lean blues, R&B. That's comfortable for me, especially with my head, dude. I love so much styles of music that if I had to just sit there and make one thing, I'd go nuts or I'd
Yeah.
quit.
Right. 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 It's just so funny the way the genre works, right? Where, you do have, to me, like you have the umbrella of country music, right?
hmm
And then like somehow, some way, a lot of these artists, you included, you fall under the umbrella because of the how you sound, because of the storytelling, because of all these things, regardless of
hmm
how the individuals may see themselves. You know what I mean? Like Whiskey Myers, they're not a country band, but they fall under the country
No.
umbrella. Like
Yes. Yeah.
Treaty Oak Revival, they're not a fucking country band, but they fall.
Hmm.
All these guys
Yeah.
that have come out of Texas, a lot of them aren't country music. But it
Yeah.
falls. And
Yeah.
it's like I have this conversation all the time. Like if you used to have like Southern rock when it was like Skinner and the
Yeah.
Allman Brothers. But
Yep.
like if those bands came out today, they'd be under the country umbrella because we don't
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
don't differentiate between Southern rock and roll or Heartland rock and all
Yep.
this anymore. It's just one big umbrella.
Yeah, and again, I think it's really too bad that I just feel like country isn't the thing to put it under. But that's
Right?
just
No,
me.
I don't disagree with you.
I've always been a really big purist on. I respect country music intensely. It's so hard to do.
Yeah.
That's what we started off trying to do, and then we eventually it fizzled out pretty fast. Where we're like, oh no, dude, we cannot do this. You know what I mean? And then, there's a genre for that, and it's called rock and roll. And
Yeah.
yeah, I got banded about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And uh, if you want to hear country music, just Merle Haggard,
Yeah.
that's what a country musician is, and that's what I
Now,
don't know.
from your personal opinion, like, there's no right or wrong answer, right? Where does country music end for you? Like, where is it? Like, you know, do you think country music has died in that sense, or do you think it's still there and it's
Yeah,
just not pop? Not I don't want to say popular, but not at the forefront.
yeah, no, it's as big as it's ever been, and
Yeah.
it's because, like you said, there's pop stars that can just um hijack the genre, and uh, country doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Right.
I
Right.
feel like, but yeah, I don't know where the line would be. Honestly, I mean, Coulter Wall's country and western.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I really like him. Charlie Crockett's doing some really country stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to be that guy, that ain't country, but
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. I get. Trust me.
yeah,
Like it. But like you can be because it's like not for nothing. Like I'll say it out loud, and I know a lot of people are gonna get pissed off at me, but like I enjoy some of that pop country stuff, because it has
yeah,
its
yeah,
place, right?
yeah,
There's a time and a place for it, but like fucking let's not pull punches here. There's a lot of you know Luke Bryan stuff and Post Malone stuff,
hmm,
but it's not. It just isn't. You can call it whatever you
yeah,
want, but it just isn't.
yeah. Again, I think that's why rock and roll is so fun. Just call
Right,
it rock and roll and
right,
own up
right,
to it, dude. You can wear a
right.
cowboy hat and rock and roll.
Yeah,
You can make a country song and rock and roll. You can do whatever you want. It just,
right.
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
mean, you think about it, right? I think about this all the time, right? I hate, and I know it's not a popular opinion, but I hate Bon Jovi, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate Bon
okay,
Jovi.
yeah.
I hate you
That's
too. I
fair.
hate a lot of like
Yeah,
huge bands, right?
yeah.
But Dead or Alive, that's may be one of the greatest country songs ever.
Yeah,
It really
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. The Eagles made a lot of great country songs too,
Right? Exactly.
But it's just not what defines them, and
Right,
that's not what defines a lot of these people. And then
right.
they ride in on the genre. I think Wheeler Walker Jr. had a really good point. It became the minor league of pop music,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And
because
I
everybody.
love what Wheeler does because like he another one writes fucking amazing songs,
Yeah,
but like they're all making fun of it,
yeah, yeah,
you know? But it's like it
yeah,
fits, it works.
yeah,
Like I would love
yeah.
to
He's
hear
a
what
funny
that
guy.
dude how that dude could write like a not that they're not real songs, but like
No, no, I know exactly what
you
you
know
mean.
what I
Yeah,
mean? Like a
Summers in
like a real
Kentucky, dude.
song.
That Summers in Kentucky song is killer until he does his thing on
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah,
Have you ever seen him?
yeah. I've opened for him.
Have you?
Yeah, yeah. I was down in Georgia. I remember coming up on stage and just knowing right away. I'm like, at first I was super excited, and then I'm a pretty realist, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I bet you with everything that I own, nobody wants to hear a serious song right now.
Right,
And I was
right.
right. I was completely right. Yeah, I got up on stage. Somebody told me to show them something, and like before I even played, they saw me walk up and they're like, "Oh, this guy," and I felt like that guy too, and I was
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah, but
Now, now in a
yeah,
situation like that, like, do you scramble and pivot to like try to, maybe do more
yeah,
covers in that situation?
yeah. That's a performer thing to do. I'm not like the greatest performer, as far as like being super charismatic and stuff. But yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
If you don't, you become an asshole pretty
Yeah,
quick.
you get eaten
Yeah,
alive,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You're like, you don't make everybody have a bad time because you want everybody to hear your serious
Right,
songs.
right, right.
Like they're not there for that. But there's a time and place for that, and when it is, that's fun. That's fun. That's
Yeah,
like for nerds, though. And that's why
yeah,
rock and roll is also cool. Because fuck
yeah.
that.
Like that's what I've noticed lately is like I've noticed like I've been going, we do a lot of shows, right? And we're finally getting some of those, opening slots or direct support that wouldn't make it in a headlining role here, right? Coming up
Hmm.
with some of these artists, and like I get like a kid in a candy store because I'm like, finally, I get to see these bands that I really like, even if it's for a 25-minute set, and
Yeah.
I'm like enthralled, right? And like people
Yeah.
around me are just talking. I'm like, shut the fuck up,
Oh, it
you
happens.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have that, man, until like TikTok or Instagram tells them to listen, and
Right,
they'll listen. But
right.
um, yeah, that's the name of the game. It's weird. It's a weird world. It's very
It
weird.
is.
That's why I think everybody just reaches back for the old stuff, especially
Yeah.
me. It just seems like a little bit better over time, and the music was a little bit more. I don't know. Everything was a little bit more honest. It feels like,
Yeah, it totally
but
was. It definitely was.
I don't think the good times are over. I don't
No.
think it's just little less of it. You know.
Now, do you think anybody in the genre of rock and roll right now is kind of who would be the one that's carrying the torch to, you know, make rock and roll again? Like not to be
Chris
cliche, but
Stapleton.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think he's really a generational talent. I think he is really. I never got to live to see a Tom Petty or somebody like a Tom Petty. Like that. But I think Chris Stapleton is just undeniably talented.
yeah,
Obviously, as we were talking about, he's under the country umbrella, but who are we kidding? I mean, the guy he's a rock and roll star. I mean,
right,
that's we can call it whatever. We'll call it country. That's fine.
right,
But because he does have country songs and he's killer. But yeah, I think that's the guy. Rock
yeah,
and roll is so weird. All of
it
those guys
is,
are so weird, so unrelatable, and so full of themselves. It's
yeah,
just, you know, I don't even know where the hell they come from. Most of them,
right,
like I don't like Imagine Dragons and what is
yeah.
I don't even, I don't yeah that genre. That's why it's dead. Obviously,
Like it's like they get so big that they lose at some point. They lose who they are in the process.
yeah. Oh, 100%. And I don't even know where they started from, to be honest
Right,
with you. Like, do you ever meet somebody who's like, I saw Imagine Dragons at the corner bar in Milwaukee? No,
right,
nobody saw them in Milwaukee.
right,
I don't even know
right.
where they come. Yeah, I don't know what that genre even. But you can't, and it's got a good track record though. But I think Chris Stapleton's the guy. I mean, everybody respects him. He's a great songwriter. He's honest. He's relatable. He's true. He rocks. Like I mean, he's got it all. Just
Yeah,
like a Tom Petty would, or a
yeah,
Seeger, or a Stones or something. He's just relatable. He's cool. That's it.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. So now with the new music you got coming out, and doing, and the rest of the year with playing shows, like what's it all looking like?
Who knows? That's just all it is. We're gonna be putting out a lot of stuff. We're going in Wednesday in Detroit. We're going to Detroit. We're cutting a song. Working on probably cutting another record here soon. Playing every show we can. Just we're going to Europe here in a week. Gonna play some shows over there. We're just always constantly writing, constantly listening to music, just diving in, studying it. Um, the way the music thing's working right now, there's no reason to really take meetings, per se. I've taken meetings, and to be honest with you, they're just the worst. I
I'm
mean,
sure.
nobody knows what they're doing.
Right.
I know what I want to do. I want to just cut records and play shows and write songs and bring awareness to great artists, especially ones of the past. That's
Yeah.
what we live for, like Little Feat, Ry Cooder, Delaney and Bonnie, and in the country world, just keep hammering home that Waylon Jennings is the king.
You know, he really is. And like this new album that's coming out, well, new album that's coming out
Oh,
and stuff. Like I
I
can't.
cried.
Yeah.
I really cried. We were coming home from a show in New York, and I read the thing that Shooter wrote. I'm like, oh, okay, let's check this out, and I couldn't believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds like Waylon. I mean, that
Yeah.
is prime Waylon. Um, Dude, it's so special. We get to watch a Waylon record, and I guess 3 records. I haven't heard nothing, other than just the release song. But I am stoked, man. That
Yeah.
guy means so much. And talk about a rock and roller in country music. I mean,
Yeah.
that is Waylon
Yeah.
Jennings. No,
You know,
God.
it makes me wonder though, like, if Shooter can do this with Waylon, I wonder what else is out there from, you know,
Mm-hmm.
guys in the
Absolutely.
past that are, because I mean, I'm sure as an artist, like you record shit and it never sees the light of day,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
100%. Yep.
so
And
like I wonder how much stuff is out there that just was never put out.
yeah, and I'm sure a ton. I'm sure a ton. It's just whoever owns the rights to that stuff, whoever's hands that's in. That's what it really depends on. And but yeah, I found that's why I was doing it, like the music thing. I was always just a huge fan of the history of it. And you get out
Yeah.
there and you start listening to songs while you're driving, and they start meaning that much more to you. And again, with the climate today, everybody's just so unrelatable and so quick to throw away everything that they started from that it just
Yeah.
feels it kind of I start feeling kind of guilty if I become a fan of somebody.
Right.
Um and so yeah, all those old guys just they knew what the hell was up, you know.
Yeah.
Um that's why Chris Stapleton's cool. I think he's still what he was, who he was.
Yeah.
Probably helps him that he's married and got all that stuff going for him, but
Right. Right.
Um,
I mean,
but yeah, it's exciting though. It is with the technology can be bad, but now we're getting a new Waylon record, and
yeah.
god dang, it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. It sure is. Well, so tell people how to keep up with you and keep in contact and follow you along and
Yeah, we're Facebook, Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I don't really post too much on there. Um, but come see a show. That's the best thing. We're gonna be touring extensively through the Heartland of America. Ironic enough, Chicago, Detroit, all the way up into Iowa, Minnesota. It's kind of hard to get south for us because it's pretty far away, and frankly, I don't really have an open door there yet. But and other than that, we're gonna be releasing a lot of music. It took a
nice.
while. I was locked up in a record deal for the first 5 years of my life as a musician, so I was only able to put out that one Factories, Farms, and Amphetamines. But now I'm free, and we're gonna be putting out a lot of stuff. I got so much music, man. I got
Well,
so much music. Um, that we just weren't able to act on, and so I'm just putting stuff out really willy nilly. Like I said, I took a couple, I guess, looks from people that wanted to help, but nothing really made sense. So, but yeah, just come see a show. Like
yeah.
that's the best thing you can do with us. Uh, we have a lot of fun doing those, and other than that, just watch Facebook and Instagram for new music. It'll be up on Spotify, iTunes, all that, and hopefully, eventually, we'll have some records pressed and can grab those for nostalgia for sale. The new
Nice.
record we just put out back in June.
Nice. Well, man, we're psyched to have you back, and we hopefully we'll see you again in person soon.
Yeah, yeah, you're out in Boston.
Yeah, we're in the Boston area. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll try to get over there. I
Yeah.
love the East Coast.
Yeah.
We've played the what is it, the Paradise,
Yeah.
Yeah, we played that I think 3 times. That's a great venue.
Yeah, it is a good venue. It's
It
it's
was
a it's a
freezing cold, but it was good.
yeah. Some of the greatest artists of all time have been through there.
Yeah, you can tell too.
Yeah,
Those places have that thing. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
they do.
Hell
They
yeah,
do.
Boston's great.
Yeah. Well,
But
man, we
cool,
hope to
cool.
see you soon, and keep fucking kicking ass.
Will do. Will
Keep kicking
do.
ass. And anytime you need anything, just let me know, and we'll get it
Okay.
out. All right, bud.
Sounds good. Thanks for having
All
me,
right, Myron.
Jim.
See you, bud.
See ya.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Our conversation with Myron. What can we say that wasn't already said? You know what I mean? Like, this kid has got it. I love everything he's doing. Um, so thank you again, Myron, for coming on and shooting the shit with us, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Now let me get back to the weekend that was. And I also forgot to mention. I don't even know how I forgot to mention this. We're also covering Jamie Johnson on Thursday night. And we're photographing. Can't keep saying shooting. It sounds off. Photographing Jamie Johnson as well. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, about the weekend shows. So Creed Fisher, Mickey Lamontia. So Creed Fisher was one of our first named guests on this podcast. So every time he's in the air, I will always see him. Um, Patty's Beach Club down in Westerly, Rhode Island. Great little venue. I'm glad it's not closer to home because I could see myself stumbling out of there quite a bit. Um, I have one complaint. The only complaint is, and this is maybe because we got there too early, or I'm just getting old as fuck. The show itself started too late. That's the only complaint I have, because it was like 11:30 and he still wasn't done, and that's fine. That's wonderful. I love that for him. He sounded great. Mickey was awesome. It was a great night of music. But for me, from where I live to there, it's just too far. It's too far, especially when you're tired. Forget about having a couple of drinks, you know. But yeah, overall, great show. Next day, we did Flatland Calvary. Um, Absolutely fantastic. So, absolutely fantastic show. We saw Flatland open for Luke Combs. Oh my God, Luke Combs a couple years ago on his stadium tour, and only got to hear a little bit of him based on the way we all went in, and nobody else wanted to see Flatland, and I was the only one. Have a long story, um, but it was a great show. We got some great photos. We're going to be posting those um, here and there as the week goes on. I just need to watermark them and all that. So you don't steal my you know okay photos. I guess I don't fucking know. And that's it. Like I said, Luke Bryan Friday. Hopefully, I know Westerman. I know. Yeah, and then that's it. Cool. I think that's all we got for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next Tuesday. Until then, guys, be good to each other. We'll see you on down the road. Cheers.